Hi and welcome to another video on Akuma's Arsenal. Today we are talking about this beautiful watch, the Casio CA-53W. Has been producing this watch since 1984. It's the later version of the CA-50W, which is a lot more famous for being worn in Back to the Future. This watch is famous in its own little way, though. If you're familiar with Mr. Bean, the TV show Mr. Bean wears the CA-53W. The watch has a bunch of features on it. The calculator, stopwatch, you can keep track of date, time, the year. It's got an alarm. It's a pretty hefty duty, feature-packed wristwatch, especially being from 1984. Casio has just recently, in September, stopped producing this wristwatch. So if you want to get one of these, they're not being produced anymore. So keep that in mind also. I mean, for a watch to be continuously produced for 1984, 2020, what is that, 35 years? It's got to be good, and it's got to have something about it that keeps making people want to buy it. And there's many, many, many reasons why. So let me show you how the watch works, and let's get some close-ups. All right, so here's the watch. As you can see, Casio CA-53W. Here I'm going to show you guys how the wristwatch works. So this pusher switches it through the main functions of the watch. This is the date. As you can see, it keeps track on the front page, the weekday, seconds, time, PM, and I believe that is battery up at the very top. If you press the divide key, it shows you the date temporarily. So as you can see here, 2010-8. One thing that was very confusing for me was, obviously coming from the United States, we do we do month, date, year. Overseas, for example, in Latin American countries, or probably even in Europe, they do day, month, year. But on this watch, it does the, here, I'll get a pencil. It does the year, day, month. Year, day, month. So obviously today is October 8th of the year 2020. So keep that in mind. It can be a little confusing, especially when you're trying to adjust it. Let's run through the other features. So here is the most important feature, is the calculator. I find myself using the calculator fairly often. Just doing simple calculations and stuff. You have a phone, and this is the kind of watch you have to learn to use. Kind of like a chronograph or a diver's watch. You have to find uses for it, because it's easy when you have a phone or whatnot. You can pull out your phone. Even if I'm a guy who, I leave my phone everywhere. I'm very rarely on it. But even me, I find it hard to purposefully want to use the calculator. And I've worn it for the past week, and I have used the calculator, I wrote it down here, about 6 times during that time period. It's very simple to use. It's got basic mathematical functions: divide, division, addition, subtraction, multiplication. So let's just do 70 divided by 6. As you can see here, it's very simple, very easy in its function. If you want to do a new calculation, you just enter in new stuff, right? I don't know how to do compound calculations, so let's say I can't just, I guess I can just hit 600 times 6. So there you go, very easy to do compound calculations. I think it's really, really cool. It's definitely a nerdier wristwatch. Let's keep going. Let's switch to the functions. Here's that. Here's this. Wait, I think I missed it. Here we go. This is a stopwatch. The chronograph or the stopwatch is super easy to use. Just press this, hit the stop button when you want to, and then use this button to hit the reset. I actually have used this multiple times. I've been walking back and forth from the office to my house. It's nice to know how long certain things take. Let's keep going. This is obviously day. I already showed you this. Calculator, alarm. Yes, this watch has an alarm. Keep that in mind. I think honestly, this is the kind of watch if you're traveling, is excellent. It's water resistant. I've worn it in the shower. I haven't worn it swimming. I have worn it in the bath. So I mean, the watch is obviously still working. I'm not really for sure the water resistance on this, but as long as it's not a dive watch, let's see if it says it on the back. It doesn't want to say on the back the water resistance rating. But I think that in terms of washing dishes, in terms of doing basic things around the house, it should be totally fine. So I want to clear up some misconceptions about the watch. No, I'm pretty sure this was not the watch worn in Back to the Future. That was a C-50W. Number two, like, trust me, I think it's super cool. I love it. However, I was asking my girlfriend what she thought about it, and she said it was dorky. Which, coming from my girlfriend about a watch I'm wearing, because I was asking her, like, so is the Longines dorky? She's like, nah, not as much. Is the SKX dorky? She said, nah, not that much. So for the, to other people, this is a dorky wristwatch, and I have to concur. It's very. I mean, like, what kind of? I mean, I'm not trying to. This isn't supposed to be an insult. Just have to ask yourself, what kind of person would have a wristwatch with a calculator on it besides a dork? Off the top of my head, I can go Milton Friedman and Mr. Bean. So, if you want, that's a great crowd, I think, to be in. So, that's what it is. She might think it's dorky, but she also said she thinks it's cool, which I also concur. It's a really cool wristwatch. It's very useful, it's very practical. I can see numerous reasons why you'd wear a watch like this. Cheating on tests. I could see this being cheating on tests really well. I think if it had more advanced calculations, I think this could be excellent for cheating on tests. Number two, I think that if you were a traveler, this watch is excellent. It's maybe not perfect because it can't track 2 time zones. However, it's accurate. It's water resistant. It has an alarm on it. It has a stopwatch on it. It has the calculator. I mean, like, let's just say, for example, I'm traveling to the Philippines, and the Philippines is about 50 pesos for $1, but let's just say it's like 52. Let's say I want to exchange money. It's like 48 pesos. I can just, pop over here and go, okay. Just pop over to the right setting. Blah 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 blah. There we go. Just pop over. Okay, they want to get 48 pesos for my, let's say, $300 I want to convert. Okay, so I'm going to get about 14,400 pesos. Doing little things like that is super nice, especially when you're traveling. You don't want to pull out your phone. Like, let's say you're in Mexico City. Do you want to be pulling out your phone all the time? I don't. And this is great in those situations. Here in, back in the United States, it's not, I feel like, that useful because our technology is so, you have your phone, you have all of this other stuff. But whenever you are in a situation where you can't rely on that stuff, let's say camping, traveling, cases like that, I think this watch is excellent. The battery lasts forever. Honestly, I've never seen one of these batteries die on a Casio. Something about the LCD screen or whatever, it's just super efficient. Doesn't take that much battery. 1 second. Hey babe. I'm recording. I'm literally recording the Casio review right now.
Oh, okay. I'll call you later.
Hold on, before you leave, what do you think about the Casio?
Which one?
The one I've been wearing, the one with the calculator on it.
It's nice, just kind of dorky looking.
Anything else?
Casio is my favorite watch.
Which watch?
No, just like Casios in general.
Yeah?
Just because I feel like they're pretty timeless.
Uh-huh.
They'll never go out of style, you know what I mean? Like, Osama bin Laden had one, Obama had one. I have one until he broke it.
I didn't break it.
Yeah, they're nice. That one's kind of dorky, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
I like your watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. I just don't think it's like you. Like it's not your style.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Alright, my love. Alright, you heard it from the horse's mouth directly. This watch is a dorky wristwatch. It is. It's dorky. I mean, it is what it is. That being said, though, I don't think you should. Okay, tell you what. This is why I would like to say it's. This is why I think that it's. I think it's dorky, and other people think it's dorky. It's dorky, number one, because it's pure function. Okay, like if you gave like and you think about what Casio did here. They made a $20 wristwatch with all these different functions on it. I mean, they've used relatively cheap materials. You know, what is this, polyurethane or whatever, right? I mean, it's a function it's a functional piece. It's not stylistic, okay? And people who only care about function, and those kinds of people can be a little dorky. So maybe that's one way to look at it. Another thing about it being dorky is it's very square. I mean, there's a reason why we call people squares, huh? Is because they're squares. And this watch is a very squarish or rectangular wristwatch. I'd like to mention that. In terms of me wearing it, can I see myself wearing this? No, not really, to be honest with you. Like my girlfriend said, it's just not my style. I think it's a ridiculously cool wristwatch, but I think this would be a great gift to a kid. It's kind of like the F91W. It's very cheap. It's made of Casio, very accurate. Now, if the kid gets made fun of, that's his fault. I think that if any little kid wore this and they wore it with confidence, I think that it would be the coolest watch in the world to them. I mean, I know that 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, even 14-year-old E-man, I would have loved having this watch. I would have thought it was the coolest thing ever. Which, I did get a lot of G-Shocks when I was a kid, which are a lot more like stylish, a lot more like fashion and kind of watches. We're talking like the big red ones or the white ones or the more colorful kind of G-Shocks. But this guy is in that classic Casio category, but the Databank, the F91W, the really basic G-Shocks. That's what this watch is. And I think that's how you should treat this watch. Treat it as a tool. This watch is a tool. It is to tell you time. It is to wake you up in the morning. It is to time things. It is to be a calculator. It is to let you know what the date of the year is. And it's there to be very accurate and very reliable. It's water resistant. And I think all of those features combined into this watch really make it a great choice for function. I mean, if you just want to compare this watch to my SKX, this watch has, way more features. It's cheaper. It's maybe even more reliable, right? You don't have to worry about magnetic, alterations of the wristwatch. It's this, Casios in general, I think, represent perfectly, cheap as possible, does as much as possible. I mean, if you want to compare this to, let's just say, an Apple Watch would be the thing to compare this to that's on a wrist. Apple Watch, of course, it can connect to the internet, and you can answer calls, you can receive texts, all this stuff, right? But the Apple Watch is 40, 50 times as much. So, if you already have a phone, is it worth 50 times as much to get that? Maybe it is, if you think your Apple Watch is, is cool. If you think it's cool. I don't. But if you think it's cool, maybe you do want to pay that extra money. Apple is a luxury brand, unlike Casio. Casio is a functional brand. And that's what I would describe this watch. The functional calculator. That's the nickname I'm going to give it. Yeah, so I just want to let you guys know. Thank you very, very much for watching the video. I hope you guys learned a few things during this video. If you really liked the video, please give the video a like. And I have a question for you guys. What do you think about the watch? would you ever get one? And if you had to give this to one person, who would it be? No specifics, don't tell me, oh, this person, John Smith, the junior, the third, just say, you know, I'd give it to my cousin. I'd give it to a 10-year-old. I'd give it to this person. I'm really curious to see. Please don't subscribe at all. Please don't. Just don't subscribe. Please don't. Don't. Whatever you do, don't subscribe. I promise. Don't. You'll regret it. You'll regret it. You'll regret it.